Welcome to In the Studio. I'm Dennis Sheehan. We're going to start today. What I want you to do, I want you to put your brushes down, put your palette down, and I want you to go away out, leave the studio, and find out what makes you unique. What is it about you that makes you unique? Not what you think you want to be unique. Why are you unique? If you can figure it out and discover it, then you can make more unique paintings. When you get up in the morning, you dress the way you dress according to the colors you like to wear, the styles you like to wear, the makeup, the way you want to fix your face and your makeup and your hair. You don't look at something else or someone else and say, just want to look like that. Or I just want to look like what dress I see hanging on a rack in the store. You just pick and choose the ones that suit your tastes, the colors that you feel go with you. But when artists go out to paint, they become kind of slavishly bonded to what they see in nature. Why do we use just the colors we see in nature? Is it because we just want to copy what we see? To create great works of art, we have to use and choose and edit and kind of manipulate nature to suit our own tastes, our own vision of what we want to show the world. How unique how do we feel about our own paintings? Do we want our paintings to look like just anybody else's paintings? Do we want our paintings to look like just what we see in nature? We already go outside and we can already see that. If we don't put ourselves into it, then it just becomes a mirror reflection of nature itself, whether it's a still life, a portrait, a landscape. I would say spend more time trying to determine why we're unique. What colors do we like? What shoes do we like to wear? What styles? How do we arrange our homes, our studios? What do we hang on our walls? What color do we paint our walls? What color drapes do we use? What color? Whatever it is we do. I mean, we're constantly involved in environments that we have connections with. Our homes, our studios, even where we work, we can arrange space around where we work to be unique. Things we choose to put in place around us. But when it comes to painting, all of a sudden we lose all of that. All of a sudden everybody just paints just what they see. And that's not, to me, how to create great fine art and give the world something new, something fresh, something totally unique, and something that they haven't seen before. Imagine trying to paint a painting that the world has not seen before. And a lot of great artists have done just that. I mean, who saw still life quite the same way that Chardin saw still life? Who has seen landscapes in quite the way that people like Corot, George Inness, many landscape painters presented us with a unique way to see landscape. Along comes Andrew Wyeth in 1940, some 50, whatever. Shows us an entire unique way of seeing the world around us. Things we've never seen before. Even some of the painters even the Impressionists. Even Van Gogh. We've never seen the world quite like that, and you can't go outside and see a world like that. Rembrandt, he chose his certain lighting, his certain coloring, his palette. Vermeer chose his certain perspectives, his camera obscura, his arrangements, compositions, his unique and unsurpassed use of the primary colors, red, yellow, blue. I can go on and on and on. From Sorolla, all the great painters gave us a unique vision of what we see every day, but through their eyes it looks totally different, and yet totally like we could see that. The Hudson River painters. So, go out, find out why you're unique, and then come back and we'll paint. So you're back. All right. That's what I like. I'm going to dip into my pale drying oil. I'm going to find something to come up with today, and I might even work from a photo of some marshes here. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't, maybe I'll just make something up. Either way, it's going to be unique. It's going to be my own style, the own colors that I choose, the lighting that I choose, the composition that I choose, and hopefully it will be successful and won't look like every other painting that you see hanging in galleries. I really wasn't prepared today for this class, so we're a little behind on Sheehan Academy video demos with the holidays. Last week I did a 2-hour teaching demo in front of my class, and I pressed the wrong button when I finished, and I lost the entire 2-hour demonstration. So that's a setback. Not a major setback, because we can do demos all the time. I can do 5 or 6 a week if I feel like it. So the way I arrive at a unique vision is to start making a brown undertone of different shapes and different values, lights and darks. So I've got lights, I've got darks, I've got shapes. I love to use the side of the brush to cover. Whoop, I just dipped into my palette with my sleeve. Yeah, that wasn't too bad, see that? All cleaned up. All right, as we continue here. While you are developing your uniqueness out there, it's good to discover those artists that you find the most affiliation with, the most feeling toward their work and what they've done. If you're a landscape painter, narrow it down to those 1 or 2, maybe 3 landscape painters that move you the most, whose work you cannot get enough of. And then take some of the things that they offer. You know, there's certain things that they do, there's certain colors they use, there's certain edges, there's softness, there's sharpness, there's brightness, the chromatic reference relationships. And take some of those things and borrow some of those things. And then take some things from nature. Take some things from other paintings. Put them in the pot and stir it up and mix it and come up with your own unique way. You want to stand apart, but sometimes you've got to look like the others to do that. And eventually, your own unique style will come through. I firmly believe that, actually. I'm going to divide the canvas a third and keep the main foreground on the bottom third of the canvas. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to stand back and see if there's any shapes that are doing anything. I see stuff going on all over. I'm going to take another brush. Last week I introduced in the demo that got erased my new weapon, WMD, Weapon of Mass Description. is a 1.5-inch Benjamin Moore hardware store painting brush with a chiseled edge. And I've used these and love these. And I always search around for new things. Anything to help make it easier to accomplish what I want. I might even make a violet tone early on here for my sky. Like right in here. Since I already got that kind of shape already put in, let's just carry it over. Step back, see how it looks. Put a little over here. Use the side of the brush. Might be tree up here. Somewhere where there'll be water. I'm going to lighten that up a little. My violet, maybe put a little yellow in it. See what happens with that for now. I'm going to get a little more landscape tone with greens. Very, very ochre-y green. So yellow, orange, and green. Put that in. This is one of my favorite colors, which isn't totally mixed, so it's not a flat tone. Just want to cover the whites. Keep it loose and free. I get it a little more ochre-y, less green. Put a pasture out here. Mix it in. A lot of dynamics working here. More orange. Grab another brush. Work on the background, the sky. I'm going to make it kind of neutral sky color. How's that? A neutral sky. So orange, blue. For the top anyway. Just want to cover the white. Don't know what we're going to do in here yet. I'm going to go back to my violet. It's kind of hard to paint and talk for me at the same time. But hopefully you're going to see how it is that I develop this. Some kind of tree is going to be out here. And then this band of clouds comes across. I'm going to go back to my darks, red and green, basically. Step back. I want to balance this composition, so I need a bigger mass of trees here. Keep everything in malleable, that you can move it around, change the shape, take paint off, put paint on. Sharpen up some of the edges here. Bring that up a little higher. The source of light in this painting, we don't know exactly where it's going to be yet. Maybe over here. Chisel away. Build, chisel, build, take off, put on, arrange. I want something to happen with that little bit of creak there. So I'm going to put a little more red into that green. As the light goes toward the horizon, this will be a little deeper in shadow. This will come down here. We're going to have that violet back out in the midground with this little hillside, I guess, back there. Just showed up out of the blue, literally, blue, blue-green. And we'll continue it over here. I just feel like popping in some more lights here, just to expedite this. So when I was a billboard painter, I used to paint giant 14-foot high by 48-foot long photographs on billboards with big giant 4-inch brushes and gallons of oil paint. And I used to knock one out in 2 or 3 days. I always wanted to see how it was going to look real quick. That's why I jump around like I do. I want to get paint and color on real early on just to see how everything's going to look. It's the way I've worked for 30, 40 years, so 30 years anyway. So I just chisel and bang and hammer away, cover the white, find the landscape that's in here somewhere. Things are starting to develop. I got my Pro Stroke, Creative Mark Pro Stroke. I'm going to tickle a couple areas here and there with a little more of a brighter color out on the pasture here. A little more yellow, yellowish green, ochre. Soften it up. Somewhere there's going to be some more brights, but I'm not sure exactly where yet. So I'm going to take my violet brush and I'm going to put a little more pink in there. I'm going to kind of feather that into the sky. Just to unify it, give it variety. Maybe even get a little stronger color as it comes down into here, wherever that source of light's going to be. A lot of variety of color in this painting so far. A lot of variety and color in this painting so far. Cover the white. I'm going to get another brush. I'm going to mix up a little more of a bluer sky color for the top. Way up here, there's a little more yellow in it. Cover the white and draw around tree shapes. Soften things. You can use a palette knife putting in your skies, but you always got to remember that skies are very vaporous. And it's nothing but big, just different arrangements of moisture, really. So you don't want it. Sometimes I put on a thick palette knife in the brights, but you do want to keep it kind of soft, because it's just light air and moisture. I'm not sure I'm going to keep that right there. I might just obliterate that little. Not sure I like that little hillside there. It didn't work for me that well, so I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to introduce that violet though, more across the mid horizon. Some kind of tree here. And what's going to happen under here? I don't know. Maybe I'll put a little more. Time for the palette knife to be introduced again. I'm going to try to get this painting a little more autumnized. How's that sound? More autumny. So we'll mix up a duller kind of orange. Some of the tops of these trees, and even the ones that go way up. See how we're going to play this one. I'm going to get my dark back again and redraw into those orange areas. Also, I got to keep in mind that there are going to be tree trunks underneath. So I want to bring those up. Find out where they're going to sit. All these trees. Underneath, I should say, all these trees. That's better. Against the bright light up there, I want to bring that dark up a little stronger. Got a lot of paint on this. with the edge of the brush, I just scribble in this tree here. Kind of lose it as it goes out to the end. Don't want it too distracting. The water will have a little more light from the sky in it. I'll go back to some of these orange ochre tones. Not sure exactly how it's going to be in the brightest areas in the sky yet. You'll notice I jiggle, go up and down, because that's how I want the water to look, to reflect up and down. And I can go across if I want to. Palette knife work again. I'm going to start laying on some more of the earth and ground tones. I'm going to deepen those up a bit. Focus on the brilliance of the evening sky. So, actually add a little blue this time. So cool these greens down a bit. Hope you can see all that happening here. I swear someone keeps moving my lights around. Every day I come to the studio, there seems to be a different light. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing here. I get very impressionistic here. I'm going to strengthen the green a little over here. Up, down, across, down, up. All kinds of grasses. Greens and grasses, greens and grasses. A little more blue-green over this side as it goes into the distance. If I put a little red, I get it a little duller, so it sits back in shadow. Yeah, something like that. Now I have to figure out how I'm going to chisel out that big tree shape out there. So I'm going to take off some of the sky color, bring that top color down a little further. Like that. So with my knife, I can go in and I can determine where I want light showing through from the sky behind. Like that. And then the top, I can cut and chisel and blend if I want. Like that. I think there's some vertical trees here. I can just see something happening there. So I might want to include those. Like coming up here. Kind of indicate those with my knife again. Maybe some more russets. Those autumny russets that I liked. The tops. We're thinking about John Francis Murphy's. We're thinking about all kinds of people when I'm painting. Let's chisel the front of this off a bit. And let's show some light underneath too. See what you can do with the knife? Get all that paint off and then decide how you want this to look again. Give it a lot of dynamics, interest. Put it on, take it off. Put it on, take it off. Put it on, take it off. You can hear the knife scraping. Soften it out into the sky. Russets. Fix the top of this tree again with my brush. Bring this down a little. I think I'm ready to start putting on the strength of light, which will be kind of the last application for this particular demo. So let's get some nice evening light. I don't know why I kept the blue on my palette there. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to start that mixture again. Something strong. A little more orangey though. Just a touch of green in it. A little orange. I can do it. Like that, maybe. I only want one bright area, not a lot of bright areas in the sky. So we got to neutralize everything. Any other lights near there, we have to be neutral. Not to interfere with the strong ones. See that? That's neutral. There. Hammer and bang and chisel these in. Okay. Redraw a little bit. Put a little orange out there. There'll be orange up in the sky. Feathered out some trees. When in doubt, put in some sky tones. Oh, not that sky tone. That's earth tone. We don't want earth tone in sky. We want earth, wind, and fire. Earth tones in sky. I put it on, I take it off. I pick things up, I put them down. Interest, lots of interest. I'm going to add a little more russet to the chops of the trees here. And unify the light in the sky with the treetops, if I can. And the wispy trees. Put a little more beef into the foliage. After all this time, I'm still not happy with the top of this tree. I can't seem to get the top of the tree the way I want it. Isn't that weird? Sometimes it goes right in, other times it doesn't. That's okay. Drag the knife across to smooth out the harsh ridges, if there are any. It's going to need a tiny flicker of light in the stream here from that. Maybe a little brighter out here. Smooth it down. little edge of that stream. A tree. Yeah, we don't need that tree there. That reflection doesn't matter. We're almost done. With a smaller brush, I'm going to plug in a little color behind those trees, which I didn't fill in yet. Just to show there's a little brightness behind. Maybe bring it down a little bit. And last but not least, a little more touch of russet tone up in the treetops. Up in here. Just shows you that there's a lot going on silhouetted against the evening sky here, so close that up a little there. Can use my big 2-inch brush even for a simple thing like tree branching, tree limbs. This is not right because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got to figure out which one of these is going to be lost. Maybe that one. 4 doesn't work. 4 little light patches doesn't work. So it's got to be kind of an odd number. I'll fix this too here. I'm going to put a little more. This is going to come across, so it has to come through there. And that's about it. So remember today's lesson. Unique. Everyone's unique. There's no question about that. Why do all our paintings look the same? How do we stand out when people go in a gallery? We want them to go directly to our painting. What are we going to do to catch their eye? We have to put something there that not everybody else has in their paintings. Find out what it is that moves you, your emotional contact with what artists are out there in the past or present. And take little bits and pieces from all the greats that you love, put it in your work. And still remember, when you wake up, how do you dress yourself every day? Thanks for joining me in the studio. I'm Dennis Sheehan. See you next time.